The German 8.8cm anti-aircraft gun is probably one of the most famous weapons of the Second World War. Anti-aircraft guns really began life in the Franco-Prussian War when Krupp developed a 2.5cm gun to fire at French observation balloons. With the use of aircraft in the First World War in an ever-increasing combat role, anti-aircraft guns also developed to protect ground targets. During the war, Germany fielded units of anti-aircraft guns of many calibers, including an 8.8cm Flak gun. Many of these had their origins in the Navy and were used by naval units in the field. By the November armistice of 1918, Germany had 2,576 anti-aircraft guns in service. The terms of the Treaty of Versailles stripped the German army of all our anti-aircraft guns, only allowing some to remain in use in the Navy. The majority of these weapons were scrapped, and the rest converted into use as low-trajectory field guns. These formed part of the 7 artillery regiments allowed by the treaty. Even before Hitler's rise to power, the German army was flouting the terms of the treaty. Krupp and the Swedish Bofors Company worked together to allow for research, design and development of guns that had been forbidden. A bogus Swedish Bofors office was set up in Berlin under the name of Koch und Ginzel to supplement the subterfuge. In reality, this was Krupp working under a different name. Between 1925 and 1930, Krupp, using their Koch und Ginzel team, and Rheinmetall developed a 7.5cm anti-aircraft gun for trials. Neither of the firm's designs were satisfactory, and the project was shelved, with some of the guns being sold abroad. In 1931, the Krupp team began work on a new 8.8cm anti-aircraft gun using the cruciform platform of their earlier 7.5cm model. A prototype was built in 1932 and proved to be successful due to the thorough research undertaken under the Bofors subterfuge. It was ordered into production, and the first units were rolling out of the factories when Hitler came to power in 1933. His leadership of Germany swept away the presence of adhering to the Treaty of Versailles. The new gun was designated the 8.8cm Flak 18 L56. It was mounted on a cruciform platform, giving the gun a 360-degree traverse when emplaced. The weapon was semi-automatic, ejecting a spent cartridge on firing and recocking itself ready for the next round. Due to this, a well-trained crew could keep up a good rate of fire. Its range was between 8 and 10,000 metres, adequate against any aircraft then in service. The gun was moved using a pair of bogies attached to the platform, whilst 2 of the arms were raised and a 12-ton tractor was used to tow the gun. It was quickly realised that the excessive firing wore out the single-piece barrel quickly, and it was difficult to change when the gun was emplaced. A solution came about in the development of the 3-piece barrel, which allowed for a far easier field replacement. This development was completed in 1936, with production beginning in 1937 under the new designation Flak 36. Meanwhile, the Flak 18 was first used in action with the Condor Legion during the Spanish Civil War. Although it was initially used in the anti-aircraft role, it was increasingly used in indirect fire and even a direct fire anti-tank role. The Spanish Civil War only involved a small number of armoured vehicles, so the potential of the weapon was not realised by other countries' armies. However, the experience of using the gun in an anti-tank role in Spain also led to the development of armour-piercing ammunition and a gun shield to protect the crew. An upgraded version of the fire control system that was used in the Flak 18 and 36 was also added to the gun in 1937, changing the designation yet again to 8.8cm Flak 37 L56. This version also included an improved limber. The 3 versions of the 8.8cm gun only differed in physical appearance, and the ballistic power of the models was more or less the same. As time wore on, and with resulting replacements and repairs, the differences became even less clear-cut, and all 3 versions of the gun remained in service throughout the Second World War. The 8.8cm Flak gun was to remain the backbone of the German air defences throughout the war, leading to a development of the Flak 41 with a longer L74 barrel, a low silhouette and fasting traverse speeds than the previous models. However, this was not put into production until 1943. On May 10, 1940, the Germans launched their blitzkrieg into France through Holland and Belgium. The German army seemed unstoppable, but on the 21st of May, the French and British forces consolidated outside of Arras. Elements of the 1st Army Tank Brigade counter-attacked Rommel's 7th Panzer Division. The German 37mm anti-tank guns were useless against the British and French tanks, so Rommel ordered the Flak 18 guns to engage the enemy armour. This was the Allies' first taste of the 88. In North Africa, during the early part of the campaign, Germany had control of the air, so the need for the anti-aircraft guns was reduced, and the 88s were ordered into an anti-tank role. A British attack by the 4th Armoured Brigade at Gaba Sala on the 19th of November 1941 was disastrous due to the 4 88s supporting the German defenders. They were capable of penetrating armour up to 99mm at ranges of 2,000 metres. However, the desert terrain and conditions didn't often allow for proper target acquisition. In Russia, the 88 was not pressed into service as an anti-tank gun until the German army ran into the T-34 tank. To defeat the armour of the T-34, the German army needed a larger caliber weapon than the available dedicated anti-tank guns. Grouping the German anti-tank guns into pack fronts worked until Soviet numerical superiority overwhelmed the guns. This led to the development of the Pak 43, using the Flak 37 barrel mounted on a low silhouette platform. As an anti-tank gun, the Pak 43 was excellent. However, it was cumbersome and not easy to get into firing position. Krupp redesigned the gun carriage as a conventional anti-tank gun split rail carriage and designated the new weapon as a Pak 43/41. This utilised existing carriages, so was relatively cheap to produce. However, the crews disliked the gun. Its weight and long barrel length made it difficult to manoeuvre, especially in bad weather and ground conditions. That said, it could hold its own against the heavier Soviet tanks, and the Allies in Italy that faced the gun had a grudging respect for its powerful fire. The fighting on D-Day and the subsequent breakout really demonstrated the power of the 88. Emplaced Flak 18 and Pak 43s on the beach had a powerful impact on the invading forces, and the fighting in the close terrain of the Bocage allowed for the 88 to be camouflaged easily in ambush. The Polish 2nd Armoured Regiment lost 9 tanks to one emplaced 88. The 88 was a feared weapon amongst the Allied soldiers that faced it, yet the gun had a very limited role in the attack. It had a high silhouette until the Pak 43/41 was developed and was not very manoeuvrable due to its weight and size. Even with these negative factors, the gun proved itself as an effective anti-tank weapon time and again, and a well-emplaced and hidden gun could do severe damage against any attack. It rightly deserves to be one of the most famous guns of the Second World War.